Sumail is it's not all...
was, considering how long he played the mid lane for. And that's the thing, though. It's like you can push this up to a certain level. At some point, it's going to be clear that there are offlaners that are more skilled than you are in that particular role. It takes a long time to fully swap to a role. You have to play through multiple metas, which sometimes can take like a year. So that's I hate to single out a single player, but that could be a point for them where it's like, okay, if we had Boxy, we'd actually have Koikfa on his original position. We wouldn't be in this interesting scenario where we basically have two mid laners, and you can see that they even try to make it work with this like this lone druid off lane, which is super interesting, but it didn't really pan out. Yeah,
those are the kinds of desperation picks that I feel they're like, well, it's not a lateral move. Koikfa and Sumail are not the same type of player. Boxy and Koikfa not the same types of offlaners. And so during the DPC, everyone was very encouraged. Everyone was like, oh, wow, this is actually like a surprisingly smooth transition.
Yeah, it worked out.
But
for a while.
Not for long. And that's kind of Liquid's thing. In Singapore, they looked really good in the wildcards, started to fizzle out in the group stage.
Yeah, let's see if they can set themselves up for success in the draft at least.
Is this all pick? What is going on?
Let's go.
This is like all pick. They're just
faster.
Very speedy. So Templar Assassin Enchantress, tried and true. Same thing goes for the Mars Lina though. So I don't think we can say anything bad about these openings. Nyx Assassin Viper, Oracle Earth Spirit still removed. Ancient Separation ignored.
A ignored, Broodmother also ignored right now.
True.
And we'll see. Okay, TNC banned out the Razor because that was their response to Templar Assassin.
Yeah.
So
they seem to think that that's like the best response because they had all of the other options in that game and they still opted to pick the Razor instead. And now they're banning it out. I mean, probably they'll ban out the other ones. But
Viper's already banned out by Liquid.
Yeah.
And Liquid do like picking Veno in peculiar situations. I know that was Beast Coast's strategy against Templar Assassin. But the thing that surprises me most is that Liquid actually did not opt for a Mars +1 combo right off the bat. Usually it's been Snapfire or Willow or Phoenix. And instead they're like, let's just take the Lina, we'll figure out this rest later.
Yeah, this is like a laning +1. Just the Mars, even the God's Rebuke is often enough to set up for the Lina stun, and then you can spear off of that, and then Lina stun again off of that because the cooldown is just so low. In the earlier levels, it's worse now than it was previously, but still, like this is an absolutely brutal lane to go up against. And I think for the most part, when Mars wins the game, we've been seeing him like dumpster lanes, and so if they do end up running the Lina as a 4, there's like nothing that's going to win against Mars Lina. The best that you can hope for is to go even.
So far, Koikfa has played so many different heroes. I feel like, he's played a different offlane hero every single game they've played so far.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
He's never played Mars this tournament yet.
Well, that explains a lot because Mars is 70% plus win rate, the most picked hero of the tournament. So
easy. This is an easy win.
You'd think so on paper. But one of the things that I like that teams have been doing against Liquid, the team most famous for stacking constantly, is that they'll first phase heroes that can take stacks. So Templar Assassin on TNC, easy to invade the enemy triangle. I've seen some bristlebacks against them as well. So it may be partially the fact that Koikfa's still finding his place, but also Liquid, their foundation is pretty obvious. Everyone knows Liquid loves to stack. And you abuse it by taking advantage of whenever Insania is missing in the lane, so you start pressuring Mickey, or you bring heroes that can invade the jungle.
Enchantress too is to me arguably one of the best position 5 jungle invaders because at the point where you want to invade the jungle, the creeps are so powerful, and so you just run a creep up a high ground and it gives vision.
Or even she can run up high ground. She never dies.
Exactly. Because of the heal, she can actually run up high grounds as well. And so you've like the point of having the creep for vision as well, and you go on either of them. It's like either you get a creep or Enchantress, which is just a giant pain in the ass to kill. Great hero at doing that.
And you mentioned that Koikfa had never played Mars before. Has Mickey played Mars? Because that was something that he was doing during the DPC.
Not this tournament yet.
So they haven't picked Mars at all then?
They have not picked Mars. This obviously could also be because Mars has been frequently banned.
For sure.
And they haven't, they just in general haven't prioritized Koikfa's hero first two. They go for Winter Wyvern.
I do think though, picking him heroes that double as both mid laners, like I'm sure mid laners and offlaners. I'm sure Koikfa in the patch where he was actually playing mid dabbled in the Mars because this was a popular kind of cheesy mid pick for quite some time.
Against
so
pucks and stuff like that, especially.
Yeah, exactly. The ranged like harasser heroes. Yeah, it's low armor. Yeah, Mars. So I think this is nice. Like, get him something that he's comfortable with, because as fast as he has learned the offlane, to be at a level where you're going to beat teams like TNC or Vici or these major teams, like, you need to be exceedingly comfortable on every hero.
Yeah, now we need to figure out what Sumail is going to get up to. Playing a fair amount of Templar Assassin, but that's on TNC's side. Leshrak's banned out. He did play one Morphling, but I don't know if you want to force feed that.
He played a Pugna. Don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of don't want to see that.
That seems like a pretty good Ember game to me.
Okay, I'd like to see that. Yeah, that could definitely work out. We got Phoenix coming out for TNC, and I think this is their first Phoenix this tournament. Yeah, surprising. And there goes the face of coming out for Mickey.
Okay, so the Void pick makes me think that this is going to be a mid Lina, and they're just going to throw this against the TA because this Faceless Void Lina late game, it's really hard to think of anything that can beat it. It just, you chrono and the Lina does enough damage. I think Lina, you might be able to go into a practice lobby and verify this, but Lina might be like one of the top 5 highest damage cores in the late game, including all carries.
Oh, when you're dishing out the damage and you got the 3 stacks of fair for a Fiery Soul, then yeah, you're golden. As long as nobody comes close, because you are still very, very squishy, and definitely would be a little worried about a TA blinking on top of you.
Is it superior to an Invoker with Cataclysm? Because TNC are expecting there's still a mid laner potentially on the horizon for Liquid because they ban out Death Prophet.
The issue with the Invoker is just it gets so dumpstered by the TA that it would feel rough for the lane. But no, I think you're right for the game. I mean, Invoker to buff up the Void as well with the Alacrity is amazing. Like, Alacrity plus the Cataclysm, it's a very nice combo.
Is the Cold Snap Urn build just dead? Does no one do it anymore?
I think people still do it a decent amount. I think we saw Miracle do that build.
He did?
Yeah, it's fine. It's worse than it was because of the Cold Snap nerfs, for sure. But I think it's more like Quas Wex was so OP for quite some time, and now it's a little more balanced.
I'm trying to think of other Sumail heroes that you could slot in, because I'm with you. I think the Lina is a pretty good option. It's been one of Southeast Asia's go-to options whenever you have a Faceless Void to put damage into the Chrono. It's that Leshrak.
And Nothing to Say just gave a great clinic of the mid Lina, so might have inspired a couple of people.
For sure. That being said, I think LGD is operating on another wavelength right now.
That's fair to say.
If anyone has the boldness to run Carry Axe twice.
What does TNC need? Because we got a Beastmaster just banned by Team Liquid. They took a long time to think about that. We know that the DK can be flexed to both Bok and to Armel. What do we want to see?
Yeah,
actually, I guess Armel's the TA, so I mean Gabby, of course.
TNC is the type of team to just run like DK carry. You know, it's like you can't trust any of their picks to be any position.
I think Liquid's on the right track. I think that it's going to be looking for an offlaner hero.
Okay.
I think the Beast ban is just because it's like the single worst matchup for Faceless Void. You can't do anything about the boar. It's so sad. And then you eventually roar him. He can't do anything.
And they ban out the Veno, so yeah.
It's not popular right now, but I would be down for a Bok Pango. I think Disarm against this team could be really irritating, especially as another way to protect the egg.
TNC previously did really try to punish the Void lane. That's where they originally picked the Viper.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so they go for basically the only remaining damage over time that's not banned out in the Axe against the Void. Nice matchup for the mid game too. Like you call Axe or you call the Void at any point, and he's going to die to the burst damage of the TA plus the Phoenix Sunray for sure.
And it provides some protection for the egg.
This could be a carry axe, actually.
It could be. We saw it work. 100% win rate carry axe.
Is this Wyvern's a 5 though? I feel like Arctic Burn. Well, Arctic Burn owns both DK and Axe, I would think. But yeah, it could be.
So what do we think? Do we want to see Sumail on the Lina, or do we want to see something else picked up now for him? Or do we want to see him on the Mars and we get a last pick coming out for Koikfa with Slardar still in the pool, one of the few games that it actually is still up? We'll go for Mirana, okay.
Huh.
That doesn't tell me much.
That does not.
Mirana?
So
Oh, no.
male Lina,
Lina.
it will be Koikfa Mars,
Koikfa
it will
Mars.
be Taiga Mirana, so the position for Mirana. On the side of TNC, we got the Gabby Axe. So we do have the carry axe, the offlane DK, and mid TA, of course, with Boomy on the Enchantress.
Wow.
We got the carry axe again.
That's
We
cool.
do.
It's cool the TNC is just immediately picking it up. They're
Yeah.
like, all right, LGD's winning with this. Like, let's go.
Southeast Asia and China have been scrimming against each other throughout the entirety of the DPC. So
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were already exposed to this. And
So
I
cool.
feel like the things that Liquid are answering are not what's important to answer. So they have Mirana versus Phoenix, so attack speed versus the egg.
Yep.
Arrow for Enchantress's creeps, which is great. But I don't think you needed to answer the supports. You needed to answer the cores. And I think Liquid's still been off balance. So I actually
Yeah.
predicted TNC for the series to begin with before we even saw the drafts. Even after seeing the drafts, I think I'm still going TNC.
I think I'm actually going to go Liquid.
Okay.
I really believe in this Lina Faceless Void combo. I think it's very BS. And by the end of this tournament, I think this will be a duo that we talk about.
Is it easy to execute? Because we know they've had some execution issues.
Yeah.
I think so. I honestly think so. It's like this is what LGD does as well. They pick Lina and then they pick a bunch of like AoE bubbles to put on the ground to protect the Lina. So this to me looks like an LGD draft, and I think that they've studied and they're the same thing, kind of the axe.
Okay, let's find out how this game's going to play itself out. Is Team Liquid able to turn the tides, or will TNC take this game one of this best of 3 series? We're finding out together with BSJ and OD Pixel.
Thank you, Sheever. Fog decided to share a little bit. I have this OD Pixel pillow to myself now. Happy to be casting this series with you. I am actually super excited about this carry axe. How you doing, Owen?
I'm doing good, Brian. Yeah, always a fan of seeing the position 1 axe, and especially when it's in the hands of some of these SEA teams. You know, Gabby playing this safe lane axe, you can expect he's going to pop off, and I really do think he will. I'm a little concerned for Liquid in this one. They've been having a rough time here at the LAN. TNC, of course, coming in with some fantastic victories. The 2-0 against Nigma, taking a game off Vici Gaming. Liquid's, you know, the pressure really is on for them here. And well, we're going to see if they're going to be able to start to fix some of the problems they've been struggling with, as it's not going to be easy. TNC, with this sort of lineup, this master tier, RMLTA, a lot of things for Liquid to be worried about this game.
Yeah, and their backs are against the wall. This is do or die. They're going to have another series right after this, I believe. And if they do not pull it together now, they will be putting together their clothes in their suitcases and going on home.
Well, we'll see what they can get going for them. I mean, looking at the 2 drafts, Brian, I mean, what's sort of standing out to you as particularly strong from both sides? Like, what are you liking strategically from these teams here?
It's just a really hard Faceless Void game. I'm now complimenting TNC's draft in the sense that who do you chrono? TA with the refraction charges most likely going to have a blink dagger to be quite elusive, and then you have 2 really tanky cores. And if you're going to try to go in without the chronosphere, you got the instant stun from the DK, you got the low cooldown call from the XP piercing. It's just going to be difficult to itemize and execute team fights for Vici. But on the other hand, if he does manage to land that crucial chrono, they have a lot of damage to follow up from long range on the side of Liquid.
Oh, that's for sure, yeah. They have got that team fight pretty much locked down here. The curse, the arena, the chrono, lots of stuff to hold and contain the members of TNC, whilst in the mid, such as Sumail is going to be able to get that damage done. But we'll see how much sort of a start Sumail gets in this matchup. TA versus Lina in the mid lane. What do you expect to make of this one? Is this a lane where Sumail can suffer against the RMLTA?
Yeah, I don't know what year this is. In the past, TA's done quite well against Lina. I'm yet to watch it this current patch, but I'm going to assume it's slightly in favor of TA, which is odd because they first rounded the Lina, assuming from a spectator standpoint that it would be a flex pick, and after they countered it with the TA, or at least I think it's a counter, they left it as is. So we're going to have to see. Sumail seems confident. I almost thought that was going to be a mid-Mirana for him, as he has done that in the past, but I don't think that does particularly well against TA either. Looking forward to seeing Taiga get that high priority last pick in the Mirana. I don't see that too often for a support.
Yeah, what do you think it was about this game that made them want to get that Mirana in as the Final Four? Obviously, there is that supernova. They are going to have that strength of being able to hit the egg. Other than that, what sort of screams out that, you know, this game is a game for Liquid to go for the Mirana?
Just because they already had the lead, I have to assume it's not all about hitting that egg. It does help, but it wouldn't be the only reason they pick it. I'm going to go with the fight selection, the nature of the ultimate from Ron as he does go down top. Let's just ignore that. He is almost level 2, but not quite early on enough to get those leap charges. But it's the ultimate from the Mirana, making sure that the Faceless Void and the Mars can get in range and position to cast their spells properly. Whoever gets the jump is going to come out on top most likely.
I see so far in the laning stage, nobody getting completely zoned out. We're seeing top lane, Quofa actually the one to get the most creeps so far. He's having pretty much free farm as the Mars here, but Gabby, of course, no struggle soaking up the creeps as they do get pushed in underneath his tower. Mid lane, 15 for 2 against the 13 for 3. Sumail keeping it very close here to that the Armor was able to achieve. Of course, the big difference is going to come into play when we see how quickly both of the mids can flash farm the jungle at the same time. Already you see Tim's setting up the jungle here for Armel, getting those stacks going on TNC's side of the map.
And the one difference is TA is the one that can farm Ancients, and Lina isn't necessarily. That's not her strong suit. This small camp's the big thing about this patch for mid. All these mids that can abuse that small camp as early as possible. You see Sumail considering it, but electing to go back to lane. That's why I was almost surprised it took this long for Lina to be popular. She's so efficient when it comes to these early game, and her limitation in the past was mana only.
Oh, she top lane Gabby. Some good harassment here onto Quofa. Call into a few spins, and I think Quofa's got to be popping that salve probably here as Gabby showing that they're not afraid to play aggressive here. Gabby trying to see if he can cancel that salve, but Quofa able to stay hidden in the trees. Tiger, though, he's got to keep his distance. The courier, one more leap forward. He will get it. He may just die for this, though, Tiger. The call comes into play. Tiger's going to lose his life for that. Liquid, they do get the 2 couriers. They end up giving away another kill here to Gabby in the safe lane. Over in the river, Sumail sees that there's no further stuff. Will manage to TP back towards the tower. But all in all, some early kills here for the safe lane Axe.
Yeah, there's not many safe lane duos that I think would do well against Mars plus any ranged right clicker like the Mirana, but Enchantress is one of the strongest laning 5s, and she can also stay out of lane a lot, and Axe is perfectly sufficient on his own since he normally is an off laner, and that means he's going to have a nice little level advantage, and overall just going for that rushed ring of health on any carry ever just feels fantastic, and it's almost surprising just as much as the Lina mid that Axe has waited this long to be a carry with that new Agshard build. People just wait for it to get nerfed, you know, before they're like, okay, that means it's the real deal. Time to consider this in the hard carry role. And it just fits so much more this patch than last because the mid lane is so much more carry-esque itself. So you can afford to have more of a semi-carry one that doesn't have to bear the entire brunt of the carry load, you know, 40 minutes into the game.
No, absolutely. I think, yeah, Axe in the position 1, as we were seeing back in the league from some teams, it has got huge potential. I mean, why do you think some teams just haven't really played with the idea of the Axe as the carry? Is it just players not necessarily being comfortable playing it in that position, or are there other weaknesses that means teams aren't always going to look towards maybe getting a carry Axe in?
Yeah, I think it really is as simple as teams not having time to adjust fully to the meta, and there's just a lot of causal chains throughout the course of any developed meta, which in this case, as we've leaned more and more towards heroes like TA being super popular, inevitably you can afford these pseudo carries, as I mentioned, and now people have to start theory crafting. We saw Liquid even try carry Omni Knight yesterday. It didn't work out, but Axe, this is the type of hero where if it failed the first 2 games, maybe we would never see it again, but it's already looking good, and thus, if other teams are doing it, why not steal it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're seeing, you know, already between the mids, as expected, already a few hundred gold lead here for Armel with how much he's able to clean up outside of the lane. You see those continued stacks being prepared for them. This mid TA is going to have a huge power spike at a very good time this game. Tiger trying to step up here. They brought the 2 supports in around the mid lane, but unless they really sort of catch one with an arrow. It's going to be a hard move to make. They will manage to land the arrow onto Armel. TP's coming in from TNC, though. They're ready to bring in the backup as Tiger's going to end up dying for this effort. Samael also in trouble as he's getting slowed down by the traps. Quite swung over, though. Looking to help out. Will catch Boomy in the arena. Quite able to come over in time, make sure that Liquid don't end up losing Samael there. But we are seeing that they want to make a move with Armel. It's just proven to be a little too hard. TNC keeping their TA perfectly safe underneath the tower.
Yeah, that's definitely not the target he wanted, but you'll take what you can get. Just look at the CS and the net worth, though. It's all in favor of TNC. I have to imagine that DK is quite a strong leader against Faceless Void, who's pretty much all physical damage early, because Phoenix has not spent very much time in the lane, and he's still out leveling and out net worthing the Void by a pretty large margin. And this is a response pick, so they clearly knew this matchup worked this way. And even though Mars is having a pretty decent start, Koikfa, and same with Sumail, they're just getting more. Gabby doing the same thing we saw from Ame last series, willingly leaving his lane in order to just gain the efficiency of the jungle. And they have such good stacking heroes. Enchantress can use creeps, Phoenix can use fire spirits to stack multiple camps per minute. And I'm pretty sure that's all this net worth lead is. There's no fancy kills going on. Yeah, they're up 3-1, but it's all just creeps.
Absolutely, yeah. Gabby, this is definitely on track to be one of the games that you are just going to see insane net worth built up at such a fast pace from Gabby. Fully uninterrupted, this axe. 5k net worth, 8 minutes in. And Liquid's probably going to... pressure's going to be on Liquid to make moves, really. Maybe with this first Chronos with Mickey's hit the 6. They've either got to do something around him or something around Samael, because as it is, TNC's just going to continue to out-farm them pretty heavily here.
Yeah, they just have serious damage issues when you consider the heroes they're trying to kill. I mentioned it later on in the game. It seems that it's already mounting as TA with max refraction, DK super tanky with this passive. Axe already got the Vanguard. Yes. Oh, this is a good wrap around by Koikfa.
Yeah, they're going to catch on to Tims. Tims will get taken out. Koikfa could be in trouble, though. Trap slow coming in, Box TP'd over. The Common Embrace will buy time here for Koikfa. They're trying to burst Bok. Samael, he'll be able to do so. They bring down a second here. Liquid Koikfa able to push back Armel in time. The tower hits will finish him off. As Liquid lose Koikfa, but this time they'll get away with finding 2 kills before, so taking down both the Phoenix and the DK there for their efforts.
Gabby's level 10. What the hell? 9 minutes in.
I mean, he's just out. He's having the time of his life, Gabby. I don't think he's farming any faster here. They will look to punch him with the Chrono. It's pretty tanky, though. Well, with the Vanguard, 4 heroes having a go at Gabby here. They will finally get him. Takes a lot. They do kill him off, and they absolutely needed to, as you were pointing out, just how good of a start Gabby is having. Liquid will finally be able to slow him down a little bit, take him off the map for 30 seconds.
Yeah, he just got strongman syndrome. Maybe it's just feeling himself after having such a good early game. You're level 10, and he's thinking the same thing I'm. He's like, holy crap, I'm level 10 in 9 minutes in. Let's get him.
Yeah.
Armel is pressuring bottom tower. They are going to need a lot of resources to get any little moves done on the map from Liquid, so anytime that they are going to 3 or 4 man gank a core like you see there, it is really important that TNC attempts to make something happen elsewhere, and we should expect that constantly throughout the game. As long as Liquid can keep up these moves, I like their late game better. It's just a matter of how many times that Axe is going to die, because every time he's not dying, he will be gaining the north lead on you.
Yeah, for sure. You're not going to be able to hit creeps as fast as Gabby. And we've seen Mickey with the build as well. Looks no Maelstrom in the build-up, just straight for the S and Y. I mean, what sort of determines which way you're going to go with a Void build? You know, this game, the S and Y, whereas obviously, I think last time around we see the Void, the Maelstrom is the S and Y. When do you go for the Maelstrom? When do you skip it, Brian?
It's when you feel like you're going to die if you go for that Maelstrom. I have to imagine he's thinking this DK Blink's coming out soon. The Axe is a threat enough as is, and teamfights are just hard for him to execute because they have so much damage at this in the game that the only way you farm faster with an SNY than you do the Maelstrom is when you're expecting to die if you go Maelstrom. So that's the only reasoning I can come up with. He certainly needed an SNY this game against the call. It's the go-to item for all carries, no matter what role the Axe is in. But you would always hope to delay it. It does speak to the situation that Liquid finds themselves in, that he is going for this item build. It's not, it doesn't feel terrible, but you're definitely not excited about it if you're a carry player.
See mid lane TNC really put on the pressure with the Elder Dragonfall, but Liquid will respond. Quakefer TPing over, TNC immediately backing off. Quakefer maybe seeing if he can get a grab with the arena here, but doesn't want to go for these two. May have been able to catch Boomy, but obviously not one of the big targets that the Liquid kind of need to be killing here. As TNC able to quickly split back up. Box in the jungle, Gabby's working on top. And even down bottom, Tim's able to pick up some action, some levels there. He's now hit the 6. Armel's still focusing through the Ancients. He's just a Mithril Hammer away from having the Deso. They're still going to hit these very fast timings, TNC. Liquid, they really need to find some kills. And they're going to try now with this smoke.
I don't think they're going to get anything, are they?
He's not going to be able to catch either. Tries to get Gabby and Bok, or either or there. Doesn't end up getting any of them. They're able to simply step out to the side. And that's a smoke and an arena down the drain there from Liquid. Nothing to be found with it. And TNC will continue to happily farm away across the map.
Yeah, they have all this control and all these ultimates that they want to use on the side of Liquid. And you can just tell by that gank alone how awkward it is and how none of these targets look like the prime meat that you're hunting for. This is just crazy. You can feel it when you get these ganks, when you look at the map. TNC's always spread out more. They're higher level across the board. Gabby, despite the death, is still getting almost 1 level per minute in this game. And he's going to have the same problem that Ame had last game, where he's going to get the Manta and he's not going to have enough time in the game to get the shard yet, so he will be completing the blink most likely beforehand. And the chip vest, this is when you know Gaben's just on your side if you're playing axe carry and you get chip vest. It's kind of like when you see all the mid laners get those fairy trinkets. It's the equivalent.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Gabby's just gonna continuously be at full HP here, and the neutral creep's not standing a chance. As you can really see how well it's going for Gabby when he's as close as he is to the farm of Armel. It was the hit, they'll blow the combo onto Bok, but it's not enough, even with the Laguna Blade. Bok's able to walk it off it. TNC not letting anybody go down. I mean, 4 to 5, the kills relatively low this game, and of course in that sort of a matchup where one team's able to hit the creeps that much more, you got to favor that side. 3k lead TNC. Armel's got the full Deso done now. So he himself, he's going to be even more proactive in getting involved when Liquid do try and bring the action to him, and he's going to hit damn hard.
Yeah, I saw EG with the Wyvern Void, as we might be seeing something bottom. Not going to make sure we miss this. Mickey? Okay. So I saw EG pull out the Wyvern Void safe lane duo, and it just screams damage problems for a really long time. And the minute that TNC saw this, their next 2 picks were just DK off and axe carry. And I just really like the game plan that TNC's constructed. And forward, I don't think Liquid's out of it by any means, but it just seems so much more straightforward for TNC to execute their game plan, and Liquid's going to be the ones that really have to think outside the box, make some fancy maneuvers, and here we see them smoking again. You can tell they have a sense of urgency. They know they need to get something done. Sumail working on a BKB, but don't really have any damage items other than that Spirit Vessel coming out on Taiga, and that can be pretty crucial against the heal from the Enchantress as well as the Phoenix with these B strength cores.
Let's see what they can grab. They want to make the jump on Bok. Mickey just show himself there by the tower. TNC have got Boomy and Bok ready here for this fight. Gabby also relatively close. And I mean, yeah, even with that time spent here to try and set up Liquid, they're still not able to confidently find a way to jump and start action onto TNC. Now TNC, they're ready to make the jump themselves. They get themselves straight over. Mickey is going to get out of position here. They're trying to hit him up with the Cold Embrace, but honestly, if anything, that just gave time for Gabby to walk and get the call off. They will get the curse down onto Boomy, will cost the life of the Enchantress. But that's the Void gone there. I mean, maybe he was dead either way, but Cold Embracing him like that, Gabby's able to step up, keep him just chain stuns. Liquid, they're still going to try and get the fight going as they jump in onto Gabby. Laguna Blade as well. Gabby's been healed up by the Sunray. They move over to Sumail, again, trying to save him with the Cold Embrace. They've got too much damage to go through it. They smash his life to pieces through the ice. It's 4 dead on Liquid, as they just can't do anything. TNC in their element. They've had the perfect start. And Gabby, he's ready to rock and roll. 4-1 and 2 after those kills. Pretty much has the Blink Dagger done. It's not looking great here for Liquid, Brian. They're having another rough game already here, just 16 minutes in.
Yeah, you can see why Taiga rushed that Spirit Vessel, and the problem is he had no charges. That could have been the difference between bringing Gabby down there, as he was sitting underneath 500 HP, taking damage and healing right through it the entire time. So, oh man, it's just not going to get easier. You have to get one kill first. They're all so tanky, even the supports. Now TA has an Aegis, and the problem here is that you have the Cold Embrace from Wyvern, but you have the pure damage from the Impetus from Enchantress. You have all the spells from Phoenix. You have the Axe Shard that's going to be coming out, which is also pure damage. You have the Side Blades if they're hitting another target, which is pure damage. He was full to zeroed while Cold Embraced, Mickey.
Yeah, it's... I mean, it's feeling like in these fights that Seni might have to hold back on using the Cold Embrace. I feel it's sort of doing them more harm than good. Just sort of disabling his teammates. The heal is just not strong enough at this stage with just the 1 point in it. It's just not going to cut it in the chaos and as you said, the damage types that TNC is able to throw out in these team fights.
Yeah, I was thinking of like a play on words with the way this axe is getting to be played. I think of like Terror Axe, you know, instead of Terror Blade, you have Terror Axe. You're just sending illusions down lanes and clearing them, and it's just so efficient. Like the whole map control aspect of Dota is that they shouldn't be able to be in all 3 lanes, but because of how easy Axe as well as TA clear the lanes, and now that TA has the Aegis and Axe is one of the most survivable carries in the game right now at this stage in the game. It's just so easy for them to have all 3 lanes pushed in, and you can see they're just ignoring mid lane because no one on Liquid is comfortable enough to enter the river.
I mean, and real talk, Brian, you know, with this sort of carry axe coming into play, when do you think the players will catch on to getting the Octarine after the Manta, Brian? Let's go.
That is the build that I did in that one party queue game, and it did carry us when it was 60+ minutes into the game. It's a nice 6th item.
On Manta.
It's a nice 6th item. I don't think it's viable this early because the BKBs and the ACs, it's just too much value because you get so much tankiness, and the attack speed aura for yourself and your illusions is just so much free damage because you usually only factor in the physical damage, but the pure damage from spins, it's just like Spectre. Pure damage is insane as the game goes on, and you have a better version of Desolate because it doesn't matter if there's anybody near them. Actually, you welcome if their teammates are near them.
Look at this. Oh, Mickey! He's jumped into a Dragon Tail! They have dropped the curse on Armel. They'll give time for Mickey to step out of the side. Quake's in with the arena. Gets the spear down onto Bok. There's no damage to kill Bok. Bok's going to be more than fine. Liquid, they've just got to back away. As again, Cold Embrace used it onto Quake, but Quake looking still pretty dead. There's no escape for the Mars. Quake goes down. The rest of Liquid desperately running out of here as the rest will make it away. And again, just TNC having the smoothest of times here. 9-5 at 19 minutes and not a lot of kills, but a whole lot of money here. 10k lead for TNC at this early point of the game.
Oh, and this is not metaphorical. This is not philosophical. They have literally no damage on the side of Liquid, and this is okay. Go cast all your spells now.
He just did. He's ready to dive into the high ground. They've got the catch on Incendia. The Chrono comes out. They've got the tower hitting as well in onto Gabby. Can they kill him? They can.
Okay.
Laguna comes down. They will manage to punish Gabby. What more can they get out of this? Liquid, the arrow in.
Spear Vessel charges.
Bok being healed up as well by the Sun Ray. Quaifa is going to be able to spear Bok back. Bok still alive. Finally goes down to the crash here as Liquid will take him down. See if Liquid can chase any more here. McKay with his eyes on Umi. With the time dilation, but the Supernova's coming out. Armel, seeing if he could turn. Quaifa's managed to catch the 2 of them in the arena. The Supernova will hold them back momentarily, but still Liquid's able to push on, take down Boomy. Look towards Armel. Armel, he'll fall for the first time. See if they can take him out again as they'll set up around the Aegis. Buyback from Boomy coming into play as they want to try and help out their TA. The one lone tree standing there, enough for Quaifa to pin Armel in his place. And they're going for everything here. They need to, Liquid. They've got to make as much as they can happen with this fortune that's sort of been handed to them there, as Liquid do manage to kick back here off the back of Gabby, going for a bit of a high ground dive on the Axe.
That was the perfect chrono placement as Sumail was right on the outside. I don't even have time to talk here as we're seeing even more action.
Quaifa's still going. He's able to get in and take down Tim's TNC. I should be able to chase and punish him for this. The battle hunger upon him. There's no help coming in for Quaifa, so Gabby and Bok and Boomy will manage to get this Mars out of the game.
That's space. Side lane's getting pushed out. Mickey going back for the Maelstrom makes sense. It's just order of items. If he had had a Maelstrom for that fight, he wouldn't have survived the initials jump by TNC. And he chronoed where the Lina and the tier 3 tower were right outside, and that was what it required to bring down Gabby on the axe. And hey, that might be the beginning of the comeback for Liquid. By no means is their team incapable of making plays. Just that bonus damage from the tower, and now with a couple Spirit Vessel charges on Taiga, that first kill was so important to helping them bring down Bach as well, and now they will have the damage as long as the cores of TNC do not have BKB available. One charge left.
No, for sure. I mean, as much as I like to see a good dive, I think for TNC's sake, Gabby's going to have to try and restrain himself a little bit more next time round. Those moves indeed giving a bit of a chance here for Liquid. That 10k lead that TNC had, nearly getting off the back of that last team fight.
Once they start building into damage items, I assume Sumail will go for the MKB build. Yes, he has it queued up. And he's also got the boots of travel, so that should help them get outside of base if TNC elects to try to take over the triangle and control the Roche area, which that MKB, super value against all 3 cores, especially the DK and the Axe, who are high armor targets, will get chunked through by that magic damage. Boots of travel across the board, though. I like this by Gabby. Usually, if you think the opponent's only way back out on the map is boots of travel, you want one core with kill thread to also have boots of travel of their own to make sure you shut that down.
No, for sure, yeah, and Gabby, an excellent one to do it, having that catch potential up top. Liquid setting up behind Mickey there, maybe preparing for a move to be made onto the Void, but it isn't coming here from TNC. TNC keeping themselves close together as a unit around the mid lane. Arm out. Few hundred gold off having the completed BKB. Still a bit of time for Gabby until he can get his arm out. Once he's got the BKB, he'll have much less of a problem getting in on these squishy heroes of Liquid uninterrupted if those ultimates are down.
I wonder if there's ever going to be a Shiva's Guard coming out from Liquid. I guess it would probably be Sumail after the MKB. I'm just thinking of heal reduction. They don't have a Scotty builder per se. After the Maelstrom, Mickey could consider it, but it looks like he's worried about his own life before he's worried about taking the opponents as he queues up the Satanic. I don't blame him. We're seeing what's happening in the fights. He's also getting called. He's not generally getting stunned. So that means the Satanic goes up in value.
Oh, for sure, yeah. If Mickey can play to the survivability elements of the hero, he's going to have a chance of sort of pushing on, being that frontliner for Sumail to sit back, get multiple rounds of his abilities off it in the team fights. We'll see what SC's move's going to be next, as they're now back to building up that lead again. When sort of the calm returns here between these two sides, TNC still able to clean up the map much more efficiently than Liquid can right now.
I never thought I'd see the day where both supports on the same team have a holy locket, Owen. Phoenix and the Enchantress.
It's true, that item it used to be a bit of a meme, but indeed no longer. No longer at all, especially on these two heroes that do have those strong healing-based spells to really buff up.
Yeah, the fact that you can give the charges to someone else just makes it that much more insane. Because the guy you don't want to focus these heal supports in the back because they're also so beefy themselves. So your goal would be to put it all on one guy, but then they're also able to put all their heals on one guy.
Yeah, and especially when the heroes that you're backing up as Tibbs and Boomy are, as beefy as they are, you're always going to get the chance to get those clutch saves off onto Bok and Gabby. Already with a lot of inbuilt sustain themselves. These are not easy heroes at all for Liquid to kill, as we have seen so far this game. The struggles have been real for Liquid, only really getting a chance to capitalize on the over-aggression of TNC. Outside of that, Liquid not being able to make too many moves themselves.
Yeah, Centaur alone is a huge threat, because it just means the opponent sees you. And Liquid has that one ward to work with in their own triangle, and also the one ward near mid tier 2 of Dire. But here we see Murano ulti. This is the information game I was talking about. Hopefully Liquid can use it to their advantage right now, as they are down by 10k. Roche going to be spawning quite soon.
Let's see if Liquid can get them by surprise. Boomy Gonna head up. Sentry's gonna be dropped down. Boomy's gonna see everything. He'll die for this. As Liquid just quickly, they just take the Enchantress's life. They know that he would be giving the info for the rest of the team, so just take what they were given. Does mean, of course, though, for TNC overall, they'll be rather happy with that one. Only losing an Enchantress to this move that Liquid were
Re-smoke.
The jump on Bok. It's going to be speared pretty deep. He is going to get the chance to easily pop that BKB, though. Liquid, what do they do now? They've sort of revealed themselves on a second attempt onto Bok. They're still hanging around the area. It's, I mean, Liquid, they start backing off. Even against just the 4 of TNC, it's very hard for Liquid to make moves.
Super late Roche spawn, and Liquid's like, come on, give us a break here. 20 seconds on the Enchantress. That is the target that TNC purposely offered up, as Liquid's quite familiar with the role of the Enchantress on the map at this stage in the game, as you use your creep as well as your own body to face check wherever you think the opponent may be coming from. And you can see that Liquid knows exactly how impactful that Enchantress kill was, where they needed to smoke again to feel like they got enough out of it. As now it's TNC turn, Enchantress is respawning, will most likely be able to connect to the fight. Probably going to try to de-ward around the area that he did get ganked. Pretty smart of him to help set up for the Roche. The thing about Liquid's lineup is they don't take Roche particularly fast, so TNC is now sitting up on bottom, assuming that someone on Liquid is going to feel pressured to go defend and push out the bottom lane. Most likely would be Sumail, because he's the one with boots of travel that would be able to rejoin the Roche area. And this Axe, these Axe illusions, it is so valuable. You can't put a gold value on heroes that can clear waves. All 3 waves, like Naga and Terrorblade, are generally the only heroes that can do it before this Axe carry without having to put themselves at risk at all.
I think one of the great things as well about the Axe carries, you know, let's be honest, Brian, would you rather be playing Axe carry, Naga, or Terrorblade? No, Axe for the fun factor, for the player, Axe has got to be at the top of the list.
Absolutely. No, I purposely took this patch as an excuse to finally get to play Max carry in those Park Q games, and I still thought it was a meme even though it worked, but apparently it is not.
It's looking very, very good here. Coming up to 19k net worth, some insane farm on Gabby Sumail to clear a wave. They're ready and waiting. They get the jump on him straight up. Sumail's on. He was not ready for that.
Exactly what they were waiting for. They were so patient. Like, the Liquid sees 2 heroes top, and TNC was still patiently waiting bottom.
Well, Boomy. I'll catch him. TPs are coming in. Boomy, he's still alive. Mickey will drop the chrono. He's caught Armel, but Armel already got the BKB off. He's got the reflection up. Literally no damage, Brian. Literally no damage done throughout the duration of that chrono. Armel's still full HP. A Winter's Curse, but for what? Gabby, he's in with the call. He's called Sumail again.
From Sumail.
He's got Sumail on speed dial. Both times, Sumail just out of action. He pulled back for that as well. Mickey's dead. Sumail's out and down for 90 seconds. Insana, he's not making it out either. Gabby's still got credit to play with as he makes another. Takes out 4 of them here. It's 15k lead up for TNC. After a fight like that, Liquid's going to be sort of licking their wounds, and I don't think they could do much more than that, Brian.
Yeah, this game was consistently one fight away from TNC just breaking open the map once again, as they kind of had to recover what they lost diving the tier 3 towers. And you can just tell when TNC sees a target like this bottom, you go on them, they die. When Liquid sees a target, maybe you have 4 heroes and you're not sure if they're gonna die. And that just never, it's almost impossible at this level of play when one team's executing on that much easier of a minimum threshold to kill somebody comparatively.
There we go, straight up to the base. Still 30 seconds, no Sumail. Mikhail will be back up, but of course no chrono. And even when that's there, as we've seen, not a whole lot to be done with it whatsoever. Of how far behind Liquid are as TNC. Let's spot him. Gabby's in again. Another catch, another kill. Insane is out. I mean, they're going to have to probably call it soon. Otherwise, no, Gabby's kills, they're going to shoot through the roof it. What are they doing?
Gabby, that's going to be calling next.
That's true. I think you might be right with that one. They're going to buy back here, but they've got to watch out for this Axe. Quite for pots the BKB. They get the arrow onto Armel. Armel, of course, still has that Aegis. I'll be able to blow him up the once, but he's ready for round 2. Gabby jumping into Samel. Samel this time out, keep the distance. Pots the BKB, starts to turn. They use the curse. Stun comes out from Samel. At the end of the day, that just stops Armel from being able to do any damage to Gabby. Armel getting fully focused here in the arena. Gets the BKB, the refraction. Armel's still alive. He's stepping away. Armel, he's going to live. He's getting healed up by Boomy. They can't kill the TA. Mickey's silenced. Mickey's gone. Coming in with double backs hit Liquid. The TNC, they're continuing to roll on as Gabby's in again with another call. Tiger, Quaifer out of action. Mickey as well. They got to call it. They really have. And there it goes. GG. As TNC 25-11, 32 minutes at 33k net worth lead. My goodness, they come in with another showstopper of a performance. And unfortunately for Liquid, Brian, I guess this is just kind of what we've come to expect to see from them here at this major.
Let's hope that doesn't happen again.
but maybe not first phase kind of thing.
No.
Honestly, if I was Team Liquid at this point, and you have to win out to get into the playoffs, I would just pick something crazy, like just reinvent Dota, because I don't think you're gonna win out by just now picking like the meta stuff.
Yeah, it's too late.
And figuring it out. Yeah, it's like you're not just gonna be better at everybody else who's been doing the meta stuff.
Yeah, you're playing against a team that has, first of all, has got 2 games over you in terms of how many games of experience in the group stage they have, right? As Team Liquid still has their second series of the day after this one. And you're playing against a team that has already been playing the better style of Dota, so you gotta be a step ahead or try something out of the box. We got them banning out the Razor and DK, so they do have the trend there. Get rid of the other tanky cores. We got on the side of TNC banning out the Troll and the Ursa. Decent to deal with the Axe.
10 seconds.
But they pick up a TA. And I got nothing against the Samael TA.
I do.
But I got something against the Samael TA.
Okay. I see.
Like, if you're gonna go for, like, I feel like this is old.
It is. And one of the critiques that we had, at least in game 1, is that Liquid were lacking a hero that were capable of taking stacks.
Yeah.
So this falls into the paradigm of, okay, Sumail leaves the lane. Taiga comes by, gets up some experience. So perhaps give him Enchantress, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like...
It's banned.
Oh, it is banned.
Yeah, that's a good ban, honestly. This Holy Locket build on her just seems just toxic, man. Just toxic. Same with on Phoenix. Obviously that goes through. You can't ban everything.
Hey, with Holy Lockets and heals and stuff being really good, whatever happened? Like, I know Axe is there, but don't you want Dazzle? Why is Dazzle bad, but the rest of the heroes good? I know it's a little off topic, but
if Dazzle does come back into the meta, I think it will be with Holy Locket.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that. I think the Dazzle is just too bad of a hero, and the only reason people ever pick it is to clear PL illusions because of the Ag Shard. That's about Dazzle's only current niche as it stands. But I think you're right. I think Holy Locket would be the build.
And also, this is still very fresh. Like, backstage...
It's today.
Fog, yeah, it's literally today.
It's literally
like, wildcards
today.
were not like this. Wildcards were not so heal-oriented, sustain-oriented, because... Well, Fog and I were wondering, like, where's Underlord right now? You want percentage-based damage. You want to deal with people who are consistently tanky, then go for someone who can scale like an Underlord. But things are still... It's an open wound right now that people are trying to close up.
Yep. Clockwork coming out.
You know, a great tanky beefy hero.
No Jenkins, no Pudge.
It has a great save, too.
Two of the best saves in the game, and Dismember now with the Ag Shard.
Although,
Talking about Pudge.
talking about saves, Abaddon was a Liquid favorite for a long time.
Oh, that hero's completely fallen off, actually, surprisingly. It should definitely not fall off that hard. I think it's a great hero.
Yeah. I'm not convinced about Snapfire these days.
But
no,
the issue with Abba is not really a support that takes a lane very well. What are you going to shield the creep wave? These Phoenixes, you know, I thought the Phoenixes at the start of the patch were really good. These Phoenix Lina type supports, because there's so many little tree paths now, and also towers have the TP range is so large that it's really dangerous to split push side lanes. And so picking these heroes like Lina and Leshrac and Phoenix that can do it so quickly and run through the trees and be so annoying, I thought that was going to come into the meta. So maybe that's part of it, is that the split pushing on these heroes feels super viable. We see it a lot on Leshrac. They just run down side lanes and feed. And
Sound like you want some Quincy Crew Hoodwink to show up.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You want trees, you want split push.
Let's do it.
I feel like Liquid are just picking Snapfire as a Phoenix answer. They want to shred down the egg, because... Otherwise, I mean, it's a comfort hero for them, but I don't really know what else the hero is supposed to be doing here.
Speaking of comfort, they look pretty comfortable in their chairs. Secret lap chairs. Good chairs.
Oh, yeah. They lounging.
They're lounging.
What does it say
They're
on the
good
back
lounging
of
chairs.
TNC's? Ian?
It's a Titan.
His name is Ian.
Titan.
No, it's like
that's their manager.
there's like different chairs. One of them is the Titan. I think the Titan is the broadest chair.
I met him at the. I had a Diet Pepsi and he knocked it out of my hand.
Oh, Ian.
Wow.
He's so crazy.
Ian is such a crazy guy. I mean, you know, what can you do?
All right, Liquid, who do you want to answer?
It takes a long time here. I kind of feel like maybe they wanted to have the Leshrac and it got stolen from them. It's one of Mickey's comforts. But I guess the question is, do you want to pick Mickey's hero here, or are you going for either Taiga's or Insania's? They played Snap on both position 4 and 5. We had the Taiga hero Marana last pick last game.
Could
Didn't
go
work out.
for Faceless Void again. It would kind of justify the Snapfire a little bit more for me.
I still, even with Snap, I think with Faceless Void, you kind of lack damage.
Yo.
Maybe, am I crazy for saying that with the Snapfire? I don't think the Snap ult is enough anymore. It just feels like with Phoenix in every game,
You need burst.
you really need a lot to deal with that. And the Holy Lockets and the Spell Lifesteal items now. And they go for the Lone Druid.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Against Phoenix, who can shred the bear
It's okay.
with Sunray.
It's okay, Jenkins. Please tell me it's going to be okay.
I'm so sorry, Tsunami.
Wow, okay.
I'm so sorry.
10
What,
seconds.
Shiver?
I am-
What is it?
What's on your mind?
Hello?
Speak to me with these paws. Do some.
You're lucky
I know.
there's no like
I
close-up
know.
camera shot. The look of disappointment in your face is palpable.
I just really wanted them to pick something relatively normal and good. We've not seen Lone Druid work this entire major. Actually, did Matu win his game with Lone Druid? No, right?
5 seconds.
I don't know. It's
It's a wild card. They got knockout team,
Who
so
cares?
Let me tell you, is China playing Lone Druid? Is Southeast Asia
Yeah.
playing Lone Druid?
exactly. I think there's like that's your answer, right? I know Koikfa and Matu are like top tier Lone Druid players,
For sure.
and a lot of people would say in the world, but you can now kind of say in Europe, and
Oof.
it's like, why? There must be like, do they feel like there's something inherently really good for a Lone Druid to deal with on the side of TNC? Like, is there something that it like hard counters?
No. There's okay. Either this is just complete comfort, or you're picking this to actually combo with something else. They could go with maybe
What's the combo with?
a puck, break the coil,
Yeah, where does TA go then?
safe lane.
Yeah, we could. Mickey has played puck.
Yeah,
Mickey plays a lot of puck,
he
so
does play
That's
puck.
true.
that could be it. And I feel like when you do put Koikfa on the Lone Druid, you are gonna treat it a little bit more as a core. So
Like
you
a
want to
carry,
have like Mickey on a more active hero that doesn't maybe need as much space
Sure.
later on. I'm trying to, some positive things in here
Very
for the Lone
reasonable.
Druid.
Yeah, of course.
But I think TNC is
Wait, but then the
looking
question is,
good
where does
so
the
far.
Mars go? I feel like you have all three of your
Oh,
cores on
you
Liquid.
are correct.
Yeah, you are correct.
That is definitely a hero we ignore. Oh no. We're just so used to seeing it. It's like blank to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mars is just in every single game.
They need an Insania hero?
Yeah, unless they're picking Mars support.
Quincy Crew did run Mars 5 for quite a few games in NA, but
Hey, they may be
2 months
picking it.
ago.
Insane.
Wyvern?
I mean, we got the AA still banned. No surprise.
Yeah.
Shadow Demon also banned. TNC is definitely on the money there,
Yeah,
thinking that it's going to be an Insania or Taiga hero last, because we have seen Insania play Snapfire as well.
He has. In fact, I think he's been playing more this major than
Yes.
Taiga has.
So is there any kind of... Willow is still in the pool? Lion. Wow.
They're scrambling.
We saw Lion very successful at the start of the group stages.
but-
Day 1.
You know,
We're now on day 3. Okay.
Times have changed. We are older and wiser now.
Yeah.
it feels like forever ago, but it is burst. It is burst against a bunch of
True.
healing and
True,
tanky
yeah.
heroes. So maybe
Yeah.
that's the
I
solution.
don't
Yeah,
know
because the Laguna Blade last game worked out so great.
Yes, of course it did. My gut says for TNC they're going to pick some other semi carry. It seems like it's such a strong meta to have once again these holy lockets and
Mm-hmm.
impossible to kill heroes, and everybody kind of scales
Oh.
to be decent as we see the draft in all its glory.
So do you want a Bach hero? Where do you want this axe?
Yeah, that is the only issue, is that
I want Gabby Axe.
I do want Gabby Axe,
Okay.
and I want Armel Lesh.
Yeah.
But I could see Bach going Lesh and getting the sort of Greaves style of build.
He can play a mag or Viper.
Yeah, mag.
Oh, Viper's banned.
Cool. Viper is banned.
Legion still in the pool, not very popular. These
so we
days.
need
Oh, you know what? In game 2 that they played against EG, he played Night Stalker. Loved that. It didn't win, but it looked very good.
Good. I mean, good Night Stalker game.
Ah,
Bristleback.
Bristleback,
Okay.
another tanky boy.
Well, very good against the Lone Druid Bear. It's you can't get anything that's going to purge the bristle stacks other than BK. Then you have a BKB on the bear if you go for that item.
Mickey Mars.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Gabby axe again. Yeah, I don't think there's anything surprising coming out. I think Tsunami. I know he really likes TNC, but at the moment he is basically.
I don't want a team to
imitating
be
all the
eliminated
Team Liquid
already.
fans.
I want the tie breaks. I want the drama. I want it saved for the last day. But Liquid are just in shambles, man.
It happens. It happens to the best of us, you know. And they're up against a Goliath
Yeah,
team.
they are.
What an improvement from TNC. These guys are looking scary.
They really do. Okay, so we all like TNC's draft a little bit more. For Team Liquid, what needs to happen for them to have a good game? Like, is there anyone in particular? Obviously, Koikfa's Lone Druid, he's gonna need some time. Who's gonna buy that time? Who has to pop off?
Everybody.
Mickey on the Mars, you know,
Yeah.
you can run this hero around with the supports, get some action going for sure. If Sumail has a good game, which, you know, one of the best laners in the world. Of course, he has Armel.
Yeah, you're right, Jenkins. By golly, they're gonna do it. I'm saying Liquid. Game 2, for the love of God, please. Please!
Well, let's see if they can do it. We're heading over to a commentary duo of BSJ and Odie Pixel. What do you guys think?
Thank you, Sheever. If there's anyone that's familiar with being on the face of elimination before it's even over, that's Jenkins for you. And I can feel Neil's pain all the way from up here, having to sit next to him for that entire panel. And OD Pixel, I'm excited for game 2 as we get to see the Lone Druid played more as a carry for Koikfa, not so much as the offlane as Mickey takes over the Mars.
Yeah, a bit of a different dynamic compared to that other day where we saw Quofa play the Lone Druid whilst Mickey played the Monkey King. So, yeah, indeed. A lot more chance for Quofa to be that carry sort of player here, really, for Liquid, and a bit of a change of priority for their cause. Is it going to work, though? I don't know. I'm seeing some problems up ahead again. You know, TNC feeling as confident as they should be after that game 1, slapping out that Gabby axe first up in the draft. And then things like down the line, getting this Armel Leshrak. You know, this is one of those heroes that can cause a lot of issues for the TA in the mid-game fights. It's not going to be another easy game for Sumail. The pressure's on for him.
I like the Bristleback pick a lot because Lone Druid and TA, they want to just be standing their ground hitting people, and most heroes in the game can't tank through that amount of damage without having to retreat, and that's when they really get the best of you. But Bristleback, he is not going to be turning his back to these heroes. He's going to be running straight at him. The one fortunate thing to have is the way that Mars Spear works is when you do spear someone to a target, it turns him around. So they can use that to manipulate what direction he is facing and potentially burst him despite the tanky passive. I'm curious, it's a similar game plan for TNC, right? 3 very survivable cores. A little bit different this game in the sense that the survivable cores are meant to kill you before you kill them because you're dealing with a Leshrak as well as the Bristleback. With the Phoenix again behind, but at least they only have 1 heal support this time.
That's true. Yeah. No Boomy on the edge this time. Boomy on something a little more aggressive in your face this time round. The clockwork coming out for him. And overall, you know, last game, we really did see, you know, Gabby ended the game, I think it was like, what, 12, 2 and 10 or something on this carry axe. This time round, you know, Liquid, they see it first. What do you think they've done this game that's going to, in their minds, make sure Gabby doesn't have as good of a game as he did last time?
If they bring 3 or 4 heroes, somebody on TNC will die. They have a lot more damage. We're looking at the support duo from Team Liquid. We're comparing a Wyvern Mirana to that of a Lion plus Snapfire. When these ultimates are online, the Finger plus the Mortimer's Kisses, they will be going down. So I don't expect to see nearly as much hesitation from Liquid when they do see the desired target, because if the spells go off, they're going to be able to make it happen.
Looking at the lane setups, of course, bottom, Gabby So backed up by Boomy against this Mickey and Insania duo. Obviously, Liquid as a team, they do flex a lot of times between the core positions, but we'll see if this works out. Clearly something they're trying whilst they're a bit on their sort of last hopes here at the major. And with the setups, Mickey, do you expect him to have a pretty good time? Is he going to be able to do something a bit more this time around when he's playing the Mars, do you think, this game?
Yeah, there's a lot of weight on his shoulders. Lone Druid and TA both like to farm for the first 15 minutes or so, and if he's able to rotate to them, then he'll get a bit of assistance from his cores. But there's just, you have to wait for the level 6s from the supports. But the problem with Mars is if you fall behind even slightly, we saw it with Ice last series, you'll end up level 8 at 17 minutes into the game, and you can't. Mars, yes, he's an offlaner that's meant to be more teamfight utility, but he needs items to do his job. So they have quite a greedy lineup, and I'm not as much concerned about Mickey being able to get these plays done, but managing to farm that he needs to be effective past that early game.
For sure, we'll see how well he's able to transition out of the laning stage. Looking at the other lane so far, mid, Armel 11 for 3 against the 13 for 1. Very close between these two. We'll see if this time around, Sumail, see if he's able to achieve as much as Armel did last game when Armel was playing the TA. We saw Armel get insane amounts of farm with the preparation of the jungle. And it was bottom left, Mickey might be in trouble there. The Battle Hunger's going to tick him down pretty low. He should be fine though with the Tango regen, and indeed will just live, but some heavy pressure here already being applied by Gabby and Boomy. That's up on the top half. I mean, this sort of the lane on the other side. Is this a lane where Quakefor can farm pretty freely? I mean, at what point is it very early that the Bristol's able to pose a threat to the Bear?
Early. I think it's going to be more so if he gets that Ags online and his ability to do. It removes the cast time, and you can just continuously chase after it with the sticky or with the nasal goo. I don't think this lane is particularly bad for Lone Druid. The only issue I have is that usually what you use to beat Bristle in lane is the fact that he's spamming quills, which means you get stick charges, which means you can often use more mana to harass him. But Lone Druid makes no use of mana in the laning phase when it comes to trades. And because of that, we're seeing a lot of efficiency by Thames once again, dipping out of lane as often as possible to give Bach slow experience. And he's already got the XP lead again. Lone Druid, a very low base armor hero, despite becoming super tanky later on. 0 base armor level 1. And you can see those quills adding up and hurting a lot.
Oh, for sure, lots of damage being done already. Well, see on the bottom half, I think Boomy just checking out the state of this area. As you're going to see nothing being stacked up quite yet by Liquid within their triangle. So that is going to be the difference really between the mids and bottom. I think Gabby we get caught by a nice spear here from Mickey. Gets Gabby under the tab, but Gabby manages to get the call off. He's going to be able to step away. He's just got the Ring of Health and a few stick charges safe to keep himself safe, and is actually top plate. He's going to get both of them. Oh, all righty. Tim's there, burning them up as they can't quite kill Bok. That's a catastrophe for the top lane of Liquid.
It's absolutely brutal, and they're going to make a really cool play where Bok has handed his bottle off to the Phoenix, who's going to walk all the way back to base, fill it up, and TB back in. So they're going to be able to run it right back. The only issue Bristleback tends to have in the early game is the regen. That's why we're seeing him a lot as a mid laner with all the runes changes. But this is effectively the same thing. You're going to have a bottle refill and also the charges that are coming out of base, as Gabby is going to take a little bit of damage bottom. But because Axe has such ridiculous base HP regen, that Ring of Health puts him at 14 HP regen, and I do feel like most safe laners this patch do have a lot of sustain issues in the early game, and I think that's another reason why Axe is so prevalent just immediately. We only started seeing it today, but it's suddenly been picked 4 times and it hasn't lost yet.
I think we might start to see a bit more if some other teams feel confident in running it, as so far with the showings we've had. We'll see now over Liquid's side. Insania starting to get the jungle prepared here for Sumail as he needs to do so. Sumail's got to hit some good timings this game. Armel is trying to scout him out, disrupt some of the farm here. will manage to take a few of the creeps as well by the looks of it. Is he quite able to get the large ones? He is. Tiger, he's come across, but the Cookie's going to get nicely dodged by Armel. Armel is going to be able to turn, take down Tiger, will lose his life, but Samel does as well. Tim's, he's just burning him down. He's going to run down Insania a little bit. Insania should be okay. Still has a Hex and a stun to offer up. Tim's no spells to throw out. But, I mean, honestly, I think we're going to see quite a fast level 6 here on Tim's this game, Brian, with these sort of kills that he's just cleaning up the XP in.
Yeah, and you're seeing what the Leshrac offers that the Lina doesn't. You'll never see the Lina on the TA side of the map invading his farm as Bach taking the immense amount of physical damage between the little Shredder and the Blightstone. Oh, the root. I don't think he would have gone down.
And oh no! I mean, they'll get him. He'll have a bit of a smile on his face. They gets the solo XP, I guess. But Bok, those quills. I mean, you say he was taking the damage. So was Tiger and Quoifer there. The quill sprays stacking up, and Tiger lived life there on their attempt to kill Bok.
Yeah, they both have 3 armor and 4 armor respectively, and the Armel, they have to take these stacks super early on the side of Liquid because he's already invading one side, taking stacks of his own, and then you've got a Vanguard Axe. Really good that Sumail's already moved his way towards the triangle, because oftentimes you have maybe 10 to 11 minutes to safely take some stacks, but the ability for TNC to invade is ridiculous. And the issue I have this game is that whatever cores walk in lane, TA doesn't want to directly contest the Lesh. Nobody on the side of Liquid wants to directly contest the Bristleback, and then Axe is just going to be doing his own thing on the map, which means that most lane pressure will be in favor of TNC. And then you ask yourself, what are they going to do with that lane pressure? Well, they have a Leshrac. As you see, they're just going to shred these tier 1 towers and continue to walk from tower to tower. Liquid's going to have to put up a fight, but TA Lone Druid, they don't want to play this way. They want to be hitting creeps themselves, wait to get their early items up. These are item-dependent heroes in terms of their damage output, as opposed to the level-dependent heroes. Something Kyle tends to talk about, one of the few things that I do closely listen.
And in this game, the thing is, when you start to see TNC move this quick, do you feel like this TA and Lone Druid duo core, is that maybe a little too much on the greedy side for Liquid when they're playing against a team like TNC?
Yeah, you can tell the greed. This is what Bristleback punishes, because the pressure he puts out is he doesn't have to be able to kill you. He can just walk at you, and just with the Vanguard, no boots, it's going to be slow. He's going to be moseying his way there, but eventually those lanes are going to get pushed in, and it's just a matter of time. It's like a ticking time bomb where you don't know when his team's going to make the move, but they get to pick and choose their battles unless you can bring this Bristle down, and that's just not the case. I talked about them having a lot more damage this game on the side of Liquid, but you need those ultimates from the supports. Lion and Snapfire aren't going to have those yet. And you can see the way that TNC's playing. Phoenix playing top, Axe jungling, Bristle showing mid. They're farming all 3 lanes and jungles of the map. And that's just... It's not that bad on the net worth, it looks like, but that's all on the TA of Sumail, which they have the tools to deal with. So if he goes down once, it could be a disaster for Liquid.
In the river here. Boomy trying to make the rounds, but once again, as we saw in game 1, Boomy, if he's the one dying, TNC as a whole will be pretty happy. There's space being created here for sure, as TNC's cores continue to go to work.
If they can turn maybe one crucial kill into a Roshan for the side of Liquid, that might be the ticket to give them the map momentum, because now suddenly TA's got that effect of being able to walk at lane survivably. Massive Ancient stack. One thing to mention about Axe carry is he can clear these. Most carries, other than maybe Sven, cannot do it this early on into the game. And Axe. So let's just check out his net worth, right? 4,500, yeah. 10 minutes. We're going to see that shoot right up. That's beautiful. As a carry player, I know you can relate.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's some lovely stuff for Gabby. This is the stuff he dreams of it.
Fog is thinking about all the gold he'd be getting from this stack.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Bok's gonna fuck it over with a tear in his eye. Could have been mine. I know Gabby. Take the priority, of course, this game as the carry. And there it is. Stack cleaned up and a healthy burst of cash. So his net worth there.
That was 900 gold. 11 minutes in. That's absurd.
No,
and Tim's is just getting much.
I mean, yeah, the levels on this Phoenix. This is going to be the problem for Liquid when they do try and go for this fight. Arena and the kisses. Tim's presence is going to be so overwhelming. He gets in with a good egg, and they have to make sure that Tiger's ready with a little shredder. Otherwise, this egg's going to cause some issues for Liquid in the team fights. And with this Ancients now being cleaned up and TNC able to just continue to push out the lanes, that little bit safer than that of Liquid. Whoa! Oh, look at that! Boomy! What a lovely little escape there. Hook shot. Back to safety. He's out with the TP. They won't find him. This time, they can't even kill Boomy. He makes it away there with a fantastic hook shot.
They do have ultimates now on Team Liquid, so they have the damage if they manage to catch, but it was a pretty sick escape there. Mission Impossible style.
Yeah, right through the whole of them, straight over the neutrals. Now in the mid. Armel, who's going to get caught in the arena? They're going to try and use the combo. Yours is going to be able to dodge a fair few of the kisses. The Sunray Hill coming as well. Liquid, they just can't get the combo hitting quite right. A look towards Bok instead. The thing, it's enough. They've got the cookie in.
Oh, come on.
Still alive. They need one more hit on him. They're not going to be able to get it. Oh, they will. Somehow the trap damage will do it. They're able to turn as well and take down the end. This could be a chance for Liquid to try and turn things. But oh, Gabby, he looks to be a bit too strong. He's already coming with the dunk onto Insania. He's going to turn over towards Quakefer. Going to turn with the bear, try and kite Gabby. Quakefer keeping his distance, but not far enough. The call will still grab him. Some good side blades here from Somehow, bouncing over from Boomy to Gabby. Another route comes into play. Gabby will fall. Liquid, for the first time in this series, are able to get a solid fight under their wings here.
I have to believe game one bled a little bit into game two here, as in game one, TNC could have done that exact thing and Liquid couldn't have done anything about it because they had Chronosphere as opposed to the Mars Arena plus all the damage to boot, right? Once they catch Armel, yes, they didn't bring him down, but he's so much of the damage for TNC at this stage. Axe, until he gets that Manta plus Blink Dagger, yes, he represents a lot of damage, but it's so difficult for him to get in position to call that he effectively did nothing that fight. And Liquid, they have good sustained damage. All they need to be able to do is remove one or two heroes from the fight such that they can overwhelm them with numbers. You see there, turning that into 4 for nothing. That was great if you're a Liquid fan.
Yeah, so starting to switch it back into the even territory here. Less than 1k difference between the two teams. Liquid able to get some items done off the back of that. Mickey with the blink, Quake with Mouse. Liquid, they're going to look to see if they can ride this momentum straight into another play. They'll hit out with the smoke and start to look towards mid. See if they can get the catch on Armel potentially.
I think everyone here, we're just rooting for Liquid to put up a fight, and we know they're better than this, and that's why it's just so disappointing to see what they've done so far. But yet at the same time, it's hard to believe, even with heroes like Lone Druid, that they'll make it happen. But I'm cautiously optimistic. They've shown some signs of life just recently. Let's turn it into more, baby. I want to see a close game that goes crazy with a bunch of 60-minute neutral items. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Let's see if they can get it here as both teams patching aside one another. In fact, Boomy, he has great angle straight in onto Quakefer. Quakefer's going to get saved. Gets cookied out of the cogs. They'll get Quakefer out of there. The kiss is coming in onto Boomy. Boomy will go down. There's Liquid. Can they get anything more out of this? Mal starting to lay down the traps. He's got his eyes on Armel. See if they can close the gap. Insania's trying to charge in. Quakefer keeping the pressure in onto the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. So they will manage to get the objective. TNC won't be able to hold this tower.
Until the X-Blink clock's the only way for the Radiant side to force a fight. So even though it doesn't look like really anything happened, as long as clock's dead, Liquid can safely siege buildings with that Dragon Lance plus the level 10 talent from TA, as well as the Bear tanking the tower shots. He is going for the Spirit Vessel on Thames. That'll help them bring down the Lone Druid, but Mar is going to have a Yules probably by the time he gets that. This is on Sumail. This is what a lot of us expected going into the major, that Liquid would be building around their substitute player, one of the best mid laners in history, and hasn't really shown that throughout the course of this. So I'd love to see them rally behind him in this game too.
See top. Insania. Got the opening. Have they got enough burst with the finger? They do. Arena's going to get knocked down as well. He's going to be held out the side. He's going to try and get the call off onto Insania, but not quite able to get him range there with the Arena holding him back.
That just looked so funny, because usually you see people bouncing off the walls because they're coming from the inside, but he's like, let me in, damn it. That gave me the Shining vibes with Jack Nicholson.
couldn't quite get there. There's Gabby. Manta's now done, so the blink is going to be flowing in pretty shortly. See Quoifert just continuing to play the catch game, trying to match up with the farm of Gabby and Armel. Armel now able to start building for the tankiness and that BKB up.
Those blades hurt, man.
Smells hitting hard, and he's playing a solid game so far. There are a few things that can cause issues for the TA in these fights, but only the one death so far in Samael as he confidently holds on to the top spot in net worth.
Axe, though, give it 3 minutes time, and he's a new hero.
That's very true. It's going to be about that time in this game. The amount of Ancients, I think he's barely missed an Ancient. Keeping this area that completely cleaned up every single minute as Boomy with the cat on Insania. He's going to be able to get the cogs down, split up any potential backup. Insania is trying to run, but there's a whole army chasing him down here. Armel, Bok, Boomy, and Tims, they'll get the job done. Insania's gone.
Can't imagine they turned that into anything. No tier 1 tower of their own mid, which makes it more difficult to see the opponent mid tower, and you don't quite have the Roche damage to force anything as Mickey is in the vicinity. Bok?
Oh, Bok! He's charging into the jungle! I think he thinks he's a little more indestructible than he was there. Just goes for a little walk in the jungle of Liquid on his own. And, well, I don't think he'll be doing that again.
I think we need that voice line, I'm so strong from TNC, because that's what it looks like they think both of these games, as we saw Gabby in game 1 and now we see Bok in game 2. You just feeling yourself and thinking there's no way there's 4 heroes from Liquid on top of this hill, and then boom, there they are.
A nasty surprise for Bok. And Samael is going to have a BKB done for the next fight. Liquid up with the smoke, seeing if they can get a hit in whilst the bristle is down. Ideally, yeah, looking for Armel.
It's going to be tough.
This Lesh. See what they catch here. Boomy in position to really block off any of these sort of movements.
Career.
Now focus Boomy. That is going to give the information for Armel to step out to the side. The rest of TNC are coming in. So if they want to look for a fight, they do. Gabby blinking in aggressively. Insania able to hold him back with the Hex. Liquid being a bit more cautious now that they know that time's been brought here for TNC to turn up in full force. Gonna go for the Roche. I think TNC are gonna want to do something about this. See what they can get done.
Blink Axe.
Whoa, Mickey is gonna start the action. Get the jump off, commits on to Gabby straight away. Can they blow up the axe into the fear? They've got the lockdown with the finger, they've done it. They bring down Gabby, but the Sunray will burn Mickey in return. Both teams dropping a core frontliner here for the potential team fight that, I mean, he wants to get in there. He wants to try and stop them from finishing off this Roche, but Samael, he's making short work of it. They've got to make a move if they want to try and stop the bear. Blocks the hook shot from Boomy. Samael, he's able to finish Roche, get the Aegis Tiger, little shreds down the Supernova. Will cost him his life. See if they can do anything more off the back of this. TNC doesn't look like it. Liquid, they're able to back away. Samael, he gets what he was looking for. Gets that Aegis and gets out alive.
Despite Liquid having difficulty making this lone druid work, I have seen some sick plays from Quoifert. That was so important that he blocked that clock hook. He was almost timed it perfectly to hook in there with the flare vision, but I don't even think he expected the bear. They purposely zoned the lion, which was really good on the side of TNC, and Insania wasn't there long enough to tank the arrow himself. But getting exactly what they wanted out of it, suddenly we find ourselves with Liquid having a 2K net worth lead. All of that is on Sumail. So it really matters what he's going to be able to do with this Aegis, as it appears is going for the full Mjolnir on Quoifert. Should expect to see him throwing that down on either the Mars or the TA. That is a lot of damage this game because of how many small instances of damage TNC has. Battery Assault, all of Phoenix spells, Leshrac spells. You should be getting a lot of valuable procs on that Mjolnir active.
Yeah, Brian, talk to me about this. We're seeing Samael. Actually, we'll top. Can they catch Boomy? No, they can't. The spear won't quite latch. Samael this game, prioritizing the Aghanims. He's going to be getting the Ags next after this BKB death zone.
That tells me that they are looking to control the map with this Aegis rather than anything like going high ground. bit surprising. I think TA plus the Lone Druid could easily threaten the base if they elected to go for that timing. But this is saying that the rest of them will be able to play away from Sumail, such that they can split the map more efficiently and also look to catch out any cores on the side of TNC that are playing overly greedy, as we've seen them do a little bit so far.
Now, let's see what sort of global moves Sumail is going to be able to make with the Axe. It's very close to having it done, about 1,500 gold away. The two is being traded. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting approach. I mean, as you said, this game really sort of, Liquid obviously building around and playing around Sumail's potential as a player. He's obviously got a good grasp of what needs to be done, and having this Axe and that ability to TP around the map between the traps, might just be, what Sumail feels could make the difference in an effort to sort of outplay the potential 5-man brawl that TNC is going to be running down lanes at Liquid with.
I'm going to say a little bit of discontinuity here, and this is the factor of having a stand-in, even if they've been playing together both the DPC. Sumail's build tells me they're playing for map control and pickoffs, while Koikfa, instead of going for the Yules, went for a Vlad, which tells me they're going to walk down lanes and fight and siege buildings, because that's what the aura is meant to do. Instead of the Yules, will help them find people. So it just seems like they're on a different page. A lot of times Envision teams lineups, their items synergize and come together for this grand old timing that they're going to hit, whether or not that's sieging high ground or force team fight. And now I think they're going to wait till the end of the Roche because of the way Sumail's built. I'm not blaming anyone in particular. I'm just not a huge fan of the way these items line up.
Yeah, no, it's a different move that we'll see if it pays off. I mean, Liquid obviously currently having the lead, 14-9 2. We'll see what they're able to do with this, approach and angle they're coming in the game with at this stage. On the side of TNC, we've seen any major items coming up soon. We're seeing, Arm out. He's going to be trying to get that Bloodstone online and put that damage, that tank ability. Talking about Aghanims, he's very close to having his done. In fact, I think he might just have it complete. Yeah, he does. The Ags on Bristle is going to be on its way out here for the next fight. But Liquid, they're already looking to fight. They'll get the jump on Boomy. Once again, good old Boomy doing his job here for the team, tanking the smoke gank.
And now that Axe has a blink, the kill on Clock is not nearly as valuable because they can still force a fight on the side of TNC, and Clock would be able to buy back reactionarily. That's why we're seeing could be a little bit passive with this push, as no one on the side of TNC is really showing on the map. So theoretically, they could all be here. But they have the Aegis on the TA, everyone else playing super safe. Well executed siege of the tier 2 there, as TNC's looking to hit their timings. Armel just got his BKB. Gabby is about a recipe away from his. And those BKBs will be quite valuable because a lot of their heroes have built-in survivability tools like the Yules from the Lesh, as well as the Call from the Axe against the TA. And there's limited damage other than that when they're in their BKB.
I mean, with the sort of approach from Liquid, just to sort of say to you that they aren't going to be in a rush to sort of end this one. They're Sumail's now going to look to farm up his next, at least his next big item before they go and force any action.
You're asking me to analyze whether or not out carries this. Yeah, it's really hard to say in terms of who scales better in the late game. Looks like Liquid is content to do so. I just am not confident one way or the other who scales better. Because Lone Druid, not exactly a hard carry. TA is a semi-carry. You have kind of like 3 semi-carries on the side of TNC. Even Bristleback as an offlaner can be considered as such, as he has the Ag Scepter. So AoE teamfight control, as the panel mentioned, the Bear has no way to get rid of that. So it should mitigate a lot of Quakefa's Bear's ability to get any right clicks in.
And Gabby just continues to keep excellent hold of the lanes with the illusions. As bottom, Sumail. I'm just going to try and just push in, just play for the flip farmers as far away from TNC as he possibly can be. Top lane, Mickey hiding in the trees. The rest of Liquid are heading over. See what they can do. They all do have a trap around, so Sumail with the Ags can look to join the fight. As already, he's going to start making the moves up here, but Armel is into the tree. TNC immediately move away from this. So no catch to be found here from Liquid attending the top lane.
Gabby has that BKB being delivered.
Well, the next fight could be a bit scary here for Liquid if Gabby gets a good call. As they're going to look for it. Smoke up. TNC's ready to try and go for the jump themselves.
Aegis is out. Tiger got a blink of his own.
Let's see if he's able to make some sort of little saves. I mean, obviously, getting people out of the cogs with the cookie has been really the main focus here for these fights when Boomy gets the catch. Look at the tower Liquid, but still TNC just doing a good job of evading any unnecessary action at this point.
Yeah, I think this pace of the game is good for Liquid because Sumail, you're seeing the effect of this Ags. He's just playing away from his team. Similar like a Spectre. He can just be at the fight from any part, has the Daedalus queued up, or maybe just casual Crystallis with the Satanic. He's joining.
They get the catch down to Armel. Armel's going to get blocked up. Does not get the chance to pop his BKB. Gabby comes in with the call though. He's got the control of the mid-case. Sumail turning over towards Gabby. Sumail takes some heavy damage here from the pure spins of Gabby. The super is down. Liquid that can't get in position to take down the egg. Tiger jumps in to looking for the kill. Boom, he does get it, but it costs him his life as Armel's able to come in with the cleanup. As Armel, with that buyback, able to turn the efforts around, pick up some kills in return. Now we'll look to run it down the mid lane. The fortification is up. McKay, of course, also buying back both teams. Buying back here on a core. TNC, they'll still be the ones to claim that mid tower. Roshan going to be up in a minute and a half. So they'll keep their eyes on that. Sumail trying to force in bottom lane, going for the Satanic after this crit. So he has further tankiness. But I mean, he needs that. We saw that in that last engagement, you know, Gabby, the damage that he does do. Once those refractions do fall, it will shred any of these heroes.
Yeah, Paladin Sword. Sumail likes to take that, so maybe he can skip the Satanic. That could be a pretty value neutral when you factor that with the Vlads from Mickey. Cloak of Flame on him, probably going to take the Titan Sliver over that. A lot of neutral items on the die. I think Cloak of Flame's pretty valuable on the Bear. Oh, the Elven Tunic on the Axe. I don't know how miss works with the spin. If you attack and it procs a spin, but you miss, does it work? Might be detrimental.
Well, I don't know, but Brian, that's the sort of thing you'd know. You know the
I was about to say, I think I'm supposed to know.
Is there still a chance? Is there still a chance for you to spin if the hit misses? I want to say, I think it's only if the hit lands on you. I think it's only if it lands on you. I think in the past it used to be when the attack was starting on you, but I think that's changed over the years.
Yeah, you're right. It was on attack trigger rather than that is.
Yeah.
Okay. TNC, 5-man smoke. Gem on the clock. Or Gem on the Phoenix, excuse me.
Liquid, they're going to check out this triangle, but TNC very deep on Liquid off of the map right now. TNC smokes about to come to an end. Liquid still got a little longer on theirs, and they do have the high ground around this triangle. TNC, smart moves here from TNC. They you know, with the fact they've made that move, they don't catch any Liquid. They'll stand their own triangle and it hits. They know where Liquid's playing. Liquid, they're going to try and sneak into the ropes, but TNC's going to have a pretty darn idea of this. It doesn't matter indeed, though. The speed it's taken down by this physical damage of Sumail and the crew means that it's an easy push here for Liquid. Aegis into the hands of Sumail. He's going to have that shard as well, so some from the traps also going to be something that will be quite the nuisance for some of these heroes.
It's funny, I'm just reading all the patch notes on TA's abilities, and they're just all so buffed. You're wondering why you're seeing TA so much. It's not some secret. Hero just got buffed 5 times in a matter of a couple patches. But Cheese on Quakefoot. Looking good for Liquid.
Quakefoot's caught up a lot. Yeah. struggled at the start. He was sitting in that bottom half of the net worth, but he's right up there now, top 3 net worth. 8K lead. They've had a lot of tough games here at the Major Liquid, but here so far, in this one, it looks like things are coming together. They take the bit of a change up of dynamic, now having Mickey playing the offlane, Mars and Quakefer on the carry lane Druid, but may have found something here that could secure them another victory.
Yep, Target TPing in after clearing top. Really good just map movements coming out from Liquid to make sure they can safely siege this tower without having to worry about any split push pressure from the Leshrac.
I mean, Boomy are looking to try and get him from the back. They're trying with the wrap round, but Liquid prepared. Mick, he's able to get the jump, the setup, looking for Gabby, but Gabby instantly with a BKB. Make sure that there's no, nothing else following up after that jump from Mickey.
Yeah, he certainly had to BKB there, but really smart by Liquid to only use the line impale. That's the bare minimum that would force him to BKB, and if he doesn't, you get the impale off, use the arena spear combo in a reaction, but nothing else committed. And now maybe Liquid can capitalize on that 75-second cooldown BKB, but I also think they were content to keep all of TNC in their base. As you can see exactly why Sumail went for the Zags, as he's able to go immediately top with the ability to come back bottom, similar to an Ember Remnant in this case. And he goes to his triangle. But this is more looking like a Nature's Prophet.
That's a big efficiency with this Zags. Level 25. He's going to have it ready for the next fight. It's a huge one. +8 refraction instance. You're talking about buffs. This is one of the biggest ones that TA got.
Absolutely insane. Super value against the Exec, gets his BKB off. There's really no other way to break it. The refraction charges.
Let's see what they can go for here. Liquid still. Time to push on with that Aegis on Sumail. TNC are prepared. See if Liquid can break the base here. It's the tier tower. It's gone. Mickey is going to look for the it's already out from Bok. Starting to charge in and use his BK. Sumail, he's got caught in the hook shot, and Sumail, he's down the walls. Tiger getting called, burns out, slammed down by the Culling Blade. Buybacks coming in from Liquid. They need to try and help Sumail, but they can't. The stone control comes out. Sumail does not get the chance to pop it KB. Bail goes down. Liquid, they've got to bail, have to get out of there. As TNC hitting hard there with that defense. Didn't matter that there were 2 lives on Sumail. Didn't even matter level 25, the 8 refraction instances. They still killed him off twice very easily. And even with the desperate buyback from Liquid, nothing they could do to stop that and turn around. A huge hit there from TNC.
Maybe just a little bit of arrogance coming out from Sumail there, as he had a Dragon Lance in his inventory and a BKB in his backpack. He had the Aegis. And the Aegis respawn is slightly shorter than the 6-second backpack cooldown. So when he comes back to life, just gets immediately stunned and blown up.
You're right, yeah, definite risks to be taken. And not one that paid off. Let's look at this charge from TNC. Gabby, he wants to go for some high ground jumps here. We'll see if anyone pokes their face outside of the base. If they do, Gabby's going to be on them immediately. It's TNC.
Yeah, both teams.
Let's say that. I mean, the lead that Liquid has is starting to drop. They can't afford for any more moves like that to be made here. Sumail has to be protected at all costs. They lose this TA fight, even with the farm that Quakefer has, is going to be very hard to clean up, as we are seeing, as you mentioned, just so many ways for TNC to disrupt the flow of Quakefer's bear in the fight. It doesn't matter how much farm he does have. If the bear can't hit the heroes, he's not have a great time. Bottom lane, a nice little catch here from Basonia and Sumail onto Armel. We'll put up a 2-minute window where there won't be a Lesh. It could be enough time here to maybe try and force his buyback.
That TA global presence is absolutely insane. Anywhere that has a trap, this might as well be a Techies. It's a hero. It's going to TP in and reshot you.
Look at the setup for TNC. This is a big break. Gonna get the jump straight there. The catch on to Samel. The B getting down from Bob into the hook. They locked down Samel. He's taken out. A beautiful setup here from TNC in the trees as they move straight over to Samel. He'll buy back. They're looking for the turnaround to be able to blow up Tims. See if they can chase as well. Samel find something out of this buyback. They move over to Bristol. They've got the damage. Will fall. Samel, he's angry there after that jump they make on him. Straight in with the buyback, taking down TNC's two big members there as they're ready to go up to high ground. TNC do have buyback. Gabby, Onion and Threes. See if they want to come out with buyback play, because now TNC, sure there's 3 on the top, but if they get back in, if they kill Samel, they may have just done enough to end the game in their favor. Boomy, he's going to get caught. TP's coming in. He's got to be careful. Samel's starting to back off. Quakefor looking to push them back with the fit. It's enough to allow Quakefor the time to TP and the rest of the crew. Everybody else gets out of there as they force the 2 buybacks from TNC, and nobody else will get lost on the side of Liquid. They managed to retreat in time very cleanly.
Yeah, both teams operate the needles now. It's not only that they don't have buybacks, but you saw how quickly Armel went down on the left track just by walking over a trap of a single support stun coming from Liquid. And then you saw how quickly Sumail died to the burst of TNC. It's just crazy that any time somebody gets caught out here, kill the end. And both teams have immense tower damage, so any kill will be turned into a lot of structural damage.
I see close to some big items here. Armel's going to want to try and get his Bloodstone finished ready, but before the next fight, so he had a bit more sustain with that spell. A lifesteal and that damage over on the side of Liquid. Quakefor, he's got the money building up here. 3k gold. See what route he wants to go to. Of course, buybacks are very important at this stage. Gabby, it's actually smoked it, and maybe Cynic can get the setup up. Oh, tries to get the jump on his snip, but it's they get the jump onto Armel. Samel's in over towards the truck, commit for the BKB. It's taken down Armel. He's taken Tim's. Gabby will kill off instead, but he's got to run. The kiss is connected. Gabby going to be able to get his pick off in time. Samel, he's found him. The call comes out from Gabby. Can Gabby not do the damage of Samel? It's going to be close backups in here for Samel as Mickey jumps over, pins down Gabby. Samel getting the triple. They are able to do it once again here, Liquid. They keep Samel safe and fighting fit and make sure he's able to come out on top of these fights. Level 27 now on the TA. Samel, they might just be ready to push in and finish what is, of course, be 1 minute without that Phoenix guarantee. They know Tim's brought back last time round. Damage is done here with the Siege.
I don't know if this is a discount Tinker or a better version of Tinker, as Sumail has bought a super late bottle, has placed a trap at his own fountain, and has used it to go back to base and regen faster than you'd normally be able to by natural fountain regen. So this is I think it's the upgrade of Tinker personally.
Yeah, we've seen some very nice moves from Sumail with its axe this game. To the point where we may very well see more TAs up the items priority in their build if this works out. As so far, you know, Sumail keeping it for that dot spot and just making so much use of the map.
Yeah, he even got the Eon disc. That's the situation he's in. As long as I live, we're good. Roche gonna fortunately spawn before Gabby is alive. A refresher shard. Definitely would have preferred the Ags on the side of Liquid. Don't particularly have an amazing refresher shard carrier.
Yeah, they'll just hand it over to Mickey for now. A couple of the arenas good to go. Also, here we have it. I mean, Liquid, they want to try and use this Aegis immediately. See if they can smoke up again an aggressive jump onto TNC in the base. They'll have to be careful though. Gabby, of course, still very, very strong.
You just look at Mickey's inventory. He's so utility based. I'm pretty sure his most expensive item is a Yules. It's like 2,800 gold, and he's 6 slotted.
And this is gonna give us some potential for some big moves. This Wind Waker pretty much got done. You know, what are you sort of looking at here? Just something to sort of get Samel or Quakefor out of the combos.
I also think that item looks really cool when you use it on yourself. Something about a moving cyclone is just really adds to the flair.
Yeah.
But he's probably buying it to save his teammates. But a man can dream.
Now we'll see if Mickey is able to start on them with up in the air. TNC not deterred by the fact that Liquid have managed to secure these Roshan benefits. They're looking out on the map, constantly using these smokes to try and take advantage of potentially Liquid splitting up, but it's not happening. Liquid, the full 5-man, bringing around this top lane.
Okay. That's all that matters.
Could be a risk for TNC trying to take a fight outside there. They said, we'll see if they do just let this tier 2 go. As in, yeah, they will. They're going to wait here to go for the final defense up the high ground. Try their best to protect this last set of racks.
Be trying to get that level 25. I don't think he's going to have it in time. Only about halfway there.
He's got a whole lot of money as well. I imagine we'll see him spend that up.
Is the strength blink the best when you could just go Octarine Core that we talked about way earlier on in this game?
Yeah, but what are you dropping for the Octarine if you want to go for the meme?
Yeah, probably Vanguard. The damage block pretty underwhelming at this stage in the game. Could always upgrade that to an Abyssal.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that. Well, Abyssal or Overwhelming Blink. Why the Overwhelming Blink?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It seems pretty underwhelming against heroes like TA that don't take the damage from it.
Contrary to the name. Yeah.
Yeah. Pun intended there.
Liquid. I mean, they're being very careful about how they approach pushing in on this last set. They know that even though they're a decent amount ahead, 17k lead here for Liquid, TNC can still pose quite the threat if they can get these jumps. If Gabby Gabby's just straight in. We're going for the Windbreakers in action. Making able to throw quite for up in there, break the combo. Gabby's gone. As Gabby's down for 95, he has got buyback somehow. Pushing in easily, clears out the crit wave. Box BB comes to an end. That's Gabby out for 90. He may have to buy back it. FTNC won't have a chance of holding on to their final set of barracks. Liquid, they're going to want to keep pushing in.
That might be the most impactful win wake I've ever seen.
I mean, these sort of plays just get the close broken as there's the buyback. Finger straight down onto Boomy. Boomy comes back into an Armel. He's caught on the front lines. He's trying to charge in, but he's Hex. Gabby comes over the corner trying to save Armel. Armel, he's rooted though. The bear takes him down as Boomy hook shotting straight to the center of them all. The Supernova, they're going to be able to step out of range of it. With the Supernova, catches no one. Mickey, he's ready to get back in. Pinned Boomy back against his own cogs. That's Armel. Boomy down. Back. Liquid, they've got the space and time to push in to get the Megas and potentially more here against TNC. TNC, can they do anything? Just the three of them. No way. Gabby, he's headed out trying to, I guess, some final bits of farm here. He's very close to having his blink upgrade. He's still very set on getting that done. But the base is in shambles here as Liquid. They're tearing through the first tier 4. The second one quick to full Ancient Explode as this should be their game here for Liquid. The bear finishing the thrown off. Gabby tries to pull up with a call. He's not going to get the chance to do so. GG is called. And Liquid, they will find themselves a winner. Look at that celebration from inside. We finally won a game. And they're obviously